Hey guys, thought I'd say what's up. Just at my house and the power is out, so I figured I'd look up the power outage and my phone is running so slow the internet. I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna go ahead and make a video. So, hello. Um, well, I thought I would talk about abortion again because I just can't get enough of it. I mean, not abortions. I think they're horrific, but I feel like there's just such a misunderstanding on the topic and why people are, so pro and against and whatnot. And I was commenting on this woman's blog post or YouTube page. Her name is Haley Alexis, and she was talking about abortion and the president and his taxes. Real quick side note, president taxes. I feel like we have the IRS, right? And they're supposedly going after people and whatnot, and we're supposed to trust them to do their job. So if Trump didn't do something right, wouldn't the IRS go after him? I mean, that's kind of like what they do, right? And if our government doesn't trust the IRS to do its job, then why does anyone have to pay their taxes? Why does it matter? Like, if we don't trust the system, then what's the point of giving to the system, right? So they're saying if it whatever shit whatever, that's what she said. That was her words. And she's like, if it smells like this, and it is, probably is. And I'm like, well, not necessarily. Question: would you want to give your tax information to someone who didn't like you and was trying to stop you at every turn, and they seemed very against you, and they're looking for things that are not even there, and they went on a whole charade about Russia and a collusion for 2+ years? I would not want to give my taxes to that person because that person's looking for something. They're going to try to find something out of nothing, and if there's nothing there, then they're going to try to make something up. They want to have dirt on him, and anything that he gives them is what they're going to take and run with and try to stab him in the back for it. So it's like, no, I disagree about the whole Trump thing as well. But back to abortion. She was like, yeah, if it's like, she got it. Well, I had commented, I said, the thing is, it's simple. If someone's pregnant and it's a baby, like, if you don't want to have a baby, then don't get pregnant, And for people, I've said this before, if you get raped or whatever, hopefully you go to the hospital and take the morning after pill or wherever and take the morning after pill. And that's like for emergencies whenever you do something that maybe you weren't intending to do, right? So knowing that that's an option that's available, if you're so irresponsible and you can't take birth control and you can't do any of the other things and you're so victimized, then at least you have that, like, go there and get that done. And, it's like, well, so women just can't, they have to expect to have babies every time they have sex? No. I think you should be educated on sex. If I have like my Fitbit, which is great, and it can tell you like when your cycle is and when you'll be fertile and ovulating. So maybe like you could try to do the method control if like birth control doesn't work for you and you try not to have sex in those times that you're ovulating and that your body's ready to have babies, if that's what you want to have, like reckless and whatever sex. And there is, why can't you use a condom, especially if it's a stranger? STDs are on the rise. Like, it's supposedly like at an all-time high. And I'm like, well, yeah, I guess if you're pushing, sex and you're trying to keep people from being married and you want them to have, reckless sex without any consequences, then consequences happen from doing irresponsible things. And she's like, yeah, so you're telling me that something the size of a walnut is a baby and that's life, and that, I should let that's not a clump of cells. And I'm like, that clump of cells talk is so frustrating because it's, at the end of the day, yeah, okay, you're a clump of cells, like we are, that's what we're made of, and this, once it's fertile, that's a baby, okay? Once you fertilize that egg, when the male sperm went to the egg and it fertilized it, that's a baby, okay? That's why I was very interested about eggs. Like when I was a kid, I kind of had issues with wanting to eat eggs because I'm like, I'm eating a baby, oh my gosh. And then I was educated that no, hens lay eggs no matter what, and unless it's been fertilized by a male, rooster, a cock, whatever, it's not going to be a baby. And I'm like, oh, thank goodness. So I'm just basically eating the egg that was just, that, didn't get fertilized. And that's kind of what our periods are, So anyway, yeah, once it's been fertilized, it's a baby. I'm sorry. I'm sorry you want to like whatever. You should have done something differently, and maybe it'll be like a blessing in disguise. We we do have things for services for people that have babies and they need help. Hello, Medicaid, food stamps, housing, whatever. We have some services for people that have kids, but maybe we can teach people to not have, you know, sex with every single person that comes their way, and yeah, birth control has side effects, but there are other things that don't have hormones and other stuff like, you can old school diaphragm, I guess, anyway, there are other options and other things that you can do. It's just, if they're going to educate you on things, they should like give you the full education. And so the walnut thing about the size of a walnut, a fish, there are fish that are that small. And let's say you have a pet fish, right? There are little bugs and insects and whatever that are that small and cute and whatever. Like, if you can get the fish out of the fish tank and your pet fish out of the tank and smash it, that's pretty cruel, right? Except for it's not a fish that's inside of your stomach. It's a baby that is growing, that is your child. It's your baby. How can you kill your own child? People are like, oh, I'd smash that baby and do this and that. And I saw a horrific video today. Oh my gosh, it made me cry, actually. These doctors had a dead baby and they were making it dance and do stuff. And I was just like, that's obvious of an aborted fetus, And I don't know how people can be so cruel, It's like, anyway, I mean, I guess that the person's like, and then someone else had even commented it like, oh, that's so ridiculous that you would say that, because what about abuse? Obviously, you've never been abused and this and that. And actually, yes, I have. Okay, I've been abused. Things happen or whatever, and that it is what it is. So I'm aware of that. That that's something that just happened or whatever. But again, I think that school should be educating people correctly, not just telling them things that, oh, it's a clump of cells. Well, guess what? We're all made of a clump of cells, okay? That clump of cells is a baby. If you look at what a baby looks like from 8 weeks, 10 weeks, you can tell it's a baby. It's a baby, that it's a life form. And it's not just a baby, it's your baby. It's your DNA. And to say that it's just a clump of cells, that's someone manipulating you and lying to you so that you don't feel guilty about what you're doing, which you should, because you're murdering your child. And I'm saying this, I'm a mother, like I have kids, and I look at my kids every day and I'm like, wow, I'm so lucky. And I get that not everyone's as lucky or whatever, but I appreciate the life that I have. I appreciate the fact that I got to live, even if my life was like kind of challenging and whatnot. And my dogs are being kind of loud. And I'm so thankful for my kids. And, the whole time I was pregnant, I was always one of those ones that was worried that like something bad might happen or they might die or whatever. And just every day I'm very thankful for what I have, because, life is very precious. And, we got to love what we got, right? So I hope that answers some of her questions. I'm going to send this video to her directly so that she sees it, because she wanted to know what certain things were. And she's like, what? So you're not supposed to? But how about we do only have sex with people that we like? Maybe that'll take away some of the stigma and women will be treated better. And we make sure that people actually want to stick with us if we have, don't have sex with people that don't want to be with you and don't want that commitment. Like, why would you give yourself to someone who's not willing to give themselves fully to you, and you're like, well, whatever, we're both just having fun, it's understanding, whatever. But why even take that risk with someone who's not worth it? Just wondering, So anyway, that's what I have to say about the video. So abortion again. And I know I mentioned in a previous video, it has just the date, like May 4th or whatever, about like how I think that everyone should anyone who's considering aborting a baby should see what that baby looks like at that age, or see what a baby looks like at that age in the womb, and learn what that baby can do and where the progress is, and understand that we're a clump of cells. Okay, great, but we're also humans, and to be so callous about a baby's life and justify it and whatever, and just say it's not a big deal, but yet like a puppy, you know, getting murdered or thrown into the river, you know, it's like, oh yeah, that's not okay, but killing babies is. It's freaking evil no matter what you do. Life, it's a life, you know, you treat, it's not fair that we give more precedence to animals than we do babies. Like, we care more about an animal being abused than a baby getting the chance to live. And like I told her, I said, it's not that we're trying to take away your rights. We're trying to, because she said, oh, and you think, it just feels like they're trying to take away people's lives, you know, like, I feel like we're in the, you know, Muslim era or whatever. And it's like, no, you have full autonomy of your body. You can do whatever you want to do with it. But the second that you bring another life into this world, you know, into existence, then that baby should have rights too. We're not trying to take away your rights. We're trying to give the baby rights. And that's basically what the argument of pro-life versus pro-abortion, you know, are. It's like, once you're pregnant, like, that's, we need to make sure we can try to preserve that life or whatever, you know. And even with like fetal abnormalities and whatnot, I still think that like you should go to term, or at least, you know, even just, you just never know. Sometimes doctors get things wrong. And again, like I said, I'm very lucky that I never had any of those issues, but I don't know. I just don't think people should be so, I don't get the push for abortion, getting the push for murdering babies, because, you know, whatever. Anyway, I hope you guys have a great night, and thanks for listening to me rant, and I will talk to you later. Bye.